Hey, I'm Spence with EnergeticCity.ca, and this is the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. And today, I'm in the North Peace Cultural Center, and I'm joined by Margaret May, who is the Vice President of the Fort St. John Arts Council. How are you today, Margaret?
I'm really good, thank you.
That's excellent. So you've been, you just completed, well, you personally didn't, but a feasibility study was just completed for the proposed community hub, and now you're kind of going around and presenting to local governments that, helped you kind of fund that. How have the presentations been going?
So far, so good. I mean, I don't want to get into a ton of detail yet because we still have a presentation to do to City, which we're going to do next week. And but we wanted to start out the process once the study was done to sort of appreciate and to report to those entities that did provide funding for the project, and that was the City of Fort St. John, District of Taylor, and the Peace River Regional District, along with a matching grant from Heritage Canada. So I mean, we want to start off by giving them that report, giving them the courtesy of going and talking to them. So far so good, and we've talked to some staff, and
that's great.
Yeah.
Any feedback from local governments that you've talked to so far?
Not a lot. I mean, everybody that we've talked to, sort of on a private level, has been very receptive, and of course the arts community is quite excited.
Of course.
Because I mean they were very involved. The local arts groups and everything were involved in the sort of the actual study, because we had forums for partners, for stakeholders and potential partners, and lots of people came out, and lots of people had a lot of different ideas. So
that's exciting.
Obviously, ultimately, not everything can be employed, but
unfortunately,
we've been happy with the reception, and we look forward to getting more feedback, and especially at the government level, because it's nothing happens without partnerships from the community. And so we're actually looking forward to being able to report to the city, because they were a big part of the whole launching the feasibility study in the first place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that is very exciting. Best of luck.
Thank you.
But kind of sort of switching gears, but not really. The feasibility study was kind of a passion project for the late Sue Popescu. And I believe it was, you said the 17th was the 2-year anniversary of her passing.
Yeah.
So, how do you think that she'd feel being able to kind of see that it's, the feasibility study's been done and now you're ready to move on to the next steps?
I think she'd be very excited. I mean, we've said a few times, I hope Sue would be proud of us, what we've done, because Sue was very instrumental in actually the building of the Cultural Center. She was on the Arts Council at that time and was one of the, not the only one, but one of the prime movers of pushing that project forward. And right from that time, she always said at the Arts Council level, this is a presentation space, primarily. I mean, there's programs as well. Yeah. Now we need a creative space. So you got a place to show the widgets, you need a place to build the widgets.
I love that quote.
Yeah. So I think she'd be really happy, and I mean, we sort of miss her advice and her, there's lots of times we want to, okay, Sue, what should we do next? How do we proceed with this?
For sure. But, like I was saying to you earlier, it's like every time I'm in a space that has either arts or culture in it, her name always comes up. And it's, but 2 years later, that's amazing, and I imagine it'll be like that for quite some time. But if you want to kind of touch on a little bit of her legacy, that would be
I mean, she did touch a lot of lives in the arts and beyond, because she was very active. As I say, founding the Cultural Center. She was very active in Stage North. She's on the Arts Council for years, and not only did she do things, like she was a doer. She was a visionary. She had the ideas, and then she had the energy to carry them out. And she was also a mentor to many of us who kind of came a little later to the Arts Council, and she really gave a lot of advice. I remember many times we're down at the Arts Post and just sitting and chatting to Sue, and it was always a learning experience because she had just had so much a wealth of. But she never just sat on her laurels. She was always excited about the next project, and it was all for the good of the community. It was never really for any personal gain on her part. She just saw a need, and she would go and do it.
That's excellent.
So I think her influence in this community felt for many years to come.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even if once the community hub does come to fruition, I imagine you'll feel her spirit, much like the building we're standing in now.
It had a lot to do with her, and if we ever are lucky enough to get something going with the Creative Hub, then it'll be a lot down to her to have started that process going.
For sure.
So yeah.
How do you think that you would feel about kind of the local art scene at this point? It's weathered a pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, with Sue, it was always, she was pleased with advances, but always saw something else you could do. So I think, it was always a mixed bag. Like, okay, this is great, but now we need to do this. And so she was always moving forward. She's never one to just sit and say, yeah, well, we've done all we can. She was always moving forward. She was always very positive too.
That's
always
great.
very optimistic about what could be done and what was possible. She didn't let little things like money or anything sort of dampen her spirit. She always felt if you have a good project, you got a good idea, then anything's possible.
That's awesome.
So hopefully she's injected a little bit of that into the rest of us that are sort of left to carry on.
I mean, let's hope so.
Yeah.
For sure. So you have a festival coming up that I kind of interrupted you setting up just now. The Peace River North Performing Arts Festival.
That's right.
Oh, good. I got that right. Excellent. So what's happening?
Well, that's another hat that I wear. I'm also I'm the president of the Festival Association, and so we're very, very excited for the first time since 2019 to be coming back to the Cultural Center and having live performances on stage. So our festival starts with the dance portion tomorrow. Okay. So we're having dancers come from actually some quite far. I think there's dancers coming from Prince Rupert and Quesnel and from Alberta and then of course the local dancers. So so we've got quite a full program of dance happening, and then we'll segue into music in the following week. So we're just very excited to be back on stage, and because there's nothing like the live performances.
Yeah, for sure. I bet a lot of people, I mean, I haven't been in a live performance for a few years now, but I mean, I'm sure many people have been missing that throughout the pandemic, especially with the audiences. I mean, you could do, a live stream, but it's not really the same unless you see the people and you hear the rustling in the seats.
Yeah.
So I guess you kind of answered my question, which is where the performers are coming from. So is it so it's dance and then music? Is there any kind of like speech arts portion or anything?
There
like that?
is sometimes, but some sections of the festival were a little bit hurt by just the uncertainty of whether we're going to be able to have a live festival and what the regulations and were going to be, and speech is one of them that kind of lost out because of that, because by the time we had sort of say, okay, this is how we're going to be able to do it, we are going to have a live festival, we are going to be able to have a full theater, and we did extend our entry deadline to try and accommodate people, but by that time the time for preparing anything had gone past. So I'm hoping the speech will make a comeback next year, because it's a really great section of the festival that I really enjoy. But
absolutely,
and so some of the entries are down in some of the music classes, but again, I think if there's one kid, we still go forward and put that kid on.
That's awesome.
Put on the stage, because of course we had.
They've already won to me, by the way.
Yeah,
like if you go out there and you're the only one, like
there's
you're
a lot
great.
more than just the certificate. There's life experience.
Absolutely. So, you kind of touched on things during the pandemic. What's the transition kind of been like from going to, we're in pandemic, we don't know what's happening, to, okay, apparently we're relaxing things. It's all, all systems go, or?
Well, it's just been tough from the whole time, and I don't think I need to tell you probably that one of the sectors that suffered the most is performing arts, obviously, through the pandemic, and a lot of it has been the uncertainty, because I mean the first year we sat for a while and then we just canceled it. That was in 2020. Second year, well, we still don't really know what's going to be happening even up to this year. I mean, we didn't know until mid-March that they were lifting the vaccine mandate, so and audiences, we had no idea. So for organizers, and I'm sure anybody who's tried to organize anything during this time will say that's one of the toughest things, is just not knowing.
Oh, for sure.
So you put it out to people, we're having a festival, maybe it's live, maybe not, I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to plan for it not to be live, and even if the mandates lift, we're still going to do it live stream, because at least then we know.
Usually we plan for it live and then pull it back. That's what we did last year. We thought, well, maybe we'll be able to live. No, couldn't. Yeah. So did the transition, sort of.
So now that the mandate has been lifted and everything seems to be, I mean, there's no wood near me, but I'm knocking on it in my mind. Yeah. How's it feel to be able to, welcome people back into the seats and be able to do this festival finally after, I think, 2-3 years?
Well, it is exciting. I mean, obviously, you have a few qualms about, I don't want to be a super spreader or something. So there's a few qualms that way, but at the same time, it's just such a treat. I mean, you talk about the performers being excited to be able to have an audience. Well, for the audience, it's 100 times better to be able to watch them on stage. I mean, I've said a few times, like, virtual festivals are better than nothing.
Yes, yeah, you got to keep those festivals going.
That's about it.
Yeah,
that's about all it is. It's better than nothing, and
absolutely.
It was great to be able to have it. Last year, learned a few technical things that I never thought I would know, but to have an actual live, there's nothing like a live performance when it comes to dancing and singing and everything. So I'm very excited. I mean, I think I've forgotten some of the things I'm supposed to do
Oh, well.
because it's been a few years, but you know, the main thing, nobody cares about what I'm doing once those kids get up on the stage.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's what we want to see.
I think the novelty of being able to sit in a theater seat again. I mean, who would think that you would be excited to sit in a theater seat again?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, for people that want to come watch it, do I have to buy a ticket? Can I just show up?
There is an admittance for a session is $3.
Okay.
You can get a weekend pass for dance for $15.
No, that's going to break the bank.
Yeah, we try to keep. It's a volunteer organization. You know, a little plug for. I know you're just joking, but to put a plug for. You know, volunteer organizations that, you know, we're able to keep the costs low and make it as accessible as we can to everybody who wants to be involved. So, yep, $3 at the door for a session or $15.
Wicked. And how long is it going on for?
Well, the dance is running till Sunday.
Okay.
And then right after the dance, we're booting them out, and the choirs are coming in Sunday night. Then there's a bit of a gap, and we have bands. The school bands will be in on Wednesday all day.
Wicked.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. And then we have another little gap for the country music singer. Johnny Reed.
That guy.
Coming in on Thursday and Friday, and then we're coming back with strings and piano over the weekend of
Perfect.
April 30th and May 1st. And I'll just mention that as part of the Cultural Centre sort of 30-year celebration, the 30 Days in Art, we're going to hold our honors concert, the Best of the Fest honors concert on June the 4th. So that'll be all the kind of the top performers from across the festival that. I'm presuming they still remember their dances and their songs by that time, but yeah.
Who knows?
So no, it's usually a great show, and it's a great sampling of some of the awesome talent we have in this community. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So if you can't make it this weekend, like you have plans, but you are free June 4th, you can see the Best of the Fest, which is
if you only
super
have
exciting.
one night, you can come to festival. Come on June the 4th.
We're all busy. Everything's opening back up again. I get it, but you don't want to miss the Best of the Fest. It's the Best of the Fest.
Exactly. You can get tickets to the Culture Centre.
There you go.
And yeah, and so it's a good night of entertainment. It's a good showcase of the young talent that we do have here.
Excellent. Well, I'm very excited. Hoping to make it for at least some of. I'm sure I can scrounge up like $3 from my couch or something.
I hope so. Yeah. Maybe we'll sneak you in.
Oh, cheers. So yeah, just show up, give some money, sit down.
Yep. There'll be right where we're standing. There'll be an admissions table. So. Yeah.
Excellent.
Great.
That's very exciting. Well,
we're looking forward to it.
You know, Margaret, it's been a pleasure. Super excited to kind of see, the festival and also just, where we go with the community hub and all that. Thank you for making time. I know you've been very busy over the last little while.
Just
kind of
this week,
planning. Yeah, just this week.
Yeah.
The one that I'm trying to get in touch with you.
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
It's fine. I'll shoot you an email next week.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for your interest and giving me an opportunity to talk about all these things that we're excited about.
Anytime.
Yeah.
This has been the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. I'm Spencer for Energetic City. Thank you so much for watching.